All right, so it is day one of our Super Street 120-hour week to wicked, and typically I'm building a hot rod of some sort. Behind us is an import, something that out of my realm, so I brought a pro in, Sam from Super Street. Tell me a little bit about what we're building.
Okay, well, it's a Subaru BRZ. It is one of the most popular cars you can get for the Super Street audience, one of the most affordable cars you can get, and we're gonna show with a few good bolt-ons and add-ons that you can make it a really fun street car that's capable on the track as well.
Awesome. So typically we have a platform that we use when we do the show, and it's ripping the car apart and starting with suspension. With this build, we're doing it a little differently.
For this build, we're going to simulate how an actual owner would build it up. So we're going to build it up in stages, you know, starting off with the chassis and then finishing off with the power.
Sure, and this is something someone would normally do over a year time, you know, when they get a little bit of money, add a little bit of parts. So it's really real life stuff.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, I've never driven one. I'd like to get in the car with you and maybe take it around the block.
For sure. Let's go for a spin.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's push button.
Yeah, like, hey.
I have a Scion FRS, which is basically the same car.
Oh, really?
And I have a regular key.
So what are the difference between the two models then?
It's really minor differences. It's kind of almost aesthetic, and then I think suspension setting's a little different.
Gotcha.
But you know, it was a joint collaboration with Toyota and Subaru when they built this car originally. So Subaru provided the motor and a bunch of other things, and you know, Toyota did their own fine tuning, and they're virtually, like, you see them on the street, like I get a double take half the time, like, is that a BRZ or an 8.6 or FRS? Like,
but it's the same platform, right?
It's the same exact car. When this car came out, like at SEMA, there was like 50 of them at SEMA, right? So everyone wanted to, you know, modify this car. It was the, you know, the fun rear-wheel drive car that we all wanted, but
sure,
it just kind of lacked power from the get-go, as you'll kind of notice.
Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to test out a little bit.
Yeah, it's like on the straight line, it's like you're just like, oh, like on the track, this car is, on a really short track, this car is so much fun, but once you hit the straight, you're like, all right, go, go, go.
You know, I kind of got on it a little bit, and it definitely will benefit from a supercharger and exhaust.
No, yeah.
Although the car's not really, I mean, it seems to drive nice, and it's still a lot tighter than a lot of cars that I typically would start with.
Okay.
You know, cars back in the, you know, we do stuff in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yeah.
So it's got a huge benefit over that aspect.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, anytime you can mess with a car and lower it a little bit and put a little more aggressive shock on it.
I mean, to be honest, this car, you could honestly take it out on the track right now and have a blast.
Yeah,
in stock form, and then you'll see where its weaknesses are, but in stock form, it's still really fun. Like, we could rip around this as fast as we want.
Right. Well, thanks for the, you know, bringing me up to speed a little bit on that. Like I said, you know, I built cars my whole life, but I've never really dabbled in the import world.
Okay.
So.
Well, hopefully you have some fun with this one.
Yeah, for sure. At least for the next 5 days.
Yeah.
All right, so Christian's now tearing into the suspension. Today we're gonna get coilovers on the car and upgrade the brakes. But while we have the suspension apart, we're gonna go ahead and throw bushings in now. That way down the road we don't take it back apart again. So I guess it's time to get busy, kid. You know, Christian, why don't we just take this exhaust out now, since we're changing it anyway. Look at the size of the sway bar.
That's a monster, huh?
Dang, dude.
Wow. You ready?
All right. Christian's gonna show you guys how to press these in, put the new ones, and I'll do the sway bar. Christian's a master at this stuff. There you go, Christian.
5 minutes later, Jason, why aren't you done yet?
Are these hard to do, Christian?
Nah.
Not too bad?
Usually, I'll try to see if I can pop it out first, the hydraulic press.
Yep.
Ooh, Shazammer. I'm gonna got some rubber still in there, and I got a sleeve in there, so I'm gonna use a Dremel, remove a lot of the material out from the top and the bottom. Use a little Sawzall, come in there, slice it, pop it out. So we do these so often, and I hate doing bushings, and this is the easiest way I come to find to do it. So now, everything's nice and clean in there. We're gonna get some grease that's supplied with the kit. You wanna put some anywhere it's gonna ride on metal. There it goes. Okay. Man, you want to grab one side so it doesn't completely fall to the ground?
Okay.
It just kind of falls to the ground?
Yeah.
All
there
right.
you go.
Bring it on over here. So the new kit actually comes with new end links. So we'll go ahead and place those. And this is why I saved the sway bar for myself, because let Christian do the hard stuff. There you go. It's about ready to go back in. As soon as, probably do the shocks first, but it'll be much easier to get back in there with the exhaust out of our way. And you used all the factory hardware.
So we're gonna pull this little bit of interior out so we can get access to these guys right here.
Oh yeah. What is that, like a 13, 14? Right, they're off. Sweet.
Okay.
Oh, this man. Here's this.
So as we're going to put in the coilovers, we're actually planning to go with a square setup for front and rear for the wheel and tire combo. So with that, we need to adjust the RSR Sports Eye upper mounts to give us a little additional 1.5 degree of camber.
Hold those for a second.
So a lot of coilovers, the way you adjust the ride height is with your spring tension, but doing that changes your ride quality. These you can keep your spring and you get your spring rate where you want it, and then to lower and raise it, you have the adjustment down here. So that makes it pretty cool. Pretty nice feature. Takes 3 people because the weight of the sway bar is freaking
Chris, let me see
heavy.
you curl that. Let me see you get 2 curls.
Dude, I don't know if
Two curls.
I don't think I can curl that, bro.
Grab the 12 socket.
And now the...
All right, so on to the brakes. Just changing out the rotors and putting new pads in. Leaving the calipers, we'll be able to stop a little quicker. So nice little upgrade. Pistons pushed back in. I couldn't find my the proper tool, so I just used a pair of little pair of channel locks to do the job. All right, that side's done. All right, so we're wrapping up day 1. Suspension, brakes, and bushings are done. What do you think?
Everything went really smooth today.
Couldn't have gone any smoother. In fact, this is something anyone can do with a few tools and a driveway. So that being said, it is Monday Night Football night, so we are going to be home for the first time in Week to Wicked history to watch the game.
Sounds good to me. Go
Get outta
Hawks.
Well, the way you guys play Chargers, I don't think so either.
Yeah, but we still have let's see, 8-3 record? No, 9-3, I'm sorry. We're 9-3. Oh, that'd Green Bay Packers.
Okay, that's off. Oh, is that a clip over here, I think? Okay. Yep, just like that, Jake. There we go. Sweet.
I'm bringing this over here for now.
Anybody need one of these?
All right, so it's day 2 of our Super Street 120-hour Week to Wicked, and so yesterday we wrapped up all the chassis stuff, brakes, suspension, and bushings. This morning we came in, we got the front bumper cover off, and well, what's on the menu, Sam, for the rest of the day?
Today we are going to get the wheels and tires installed. We have some aesthetic changes we're going to make that is really going to be subtle, but really transform the look of the car. So we have some side skirts and new taillights. So can't wait to get started.
Yeah, well, before we do that, we better get something done on those headlights because they look pretty bad. Matt's gonna come in, try to polish them out. Hopefully he can do that. So with that being said, let's get out of here.
Sounds good.
So basically the headlights are probably the worst we've seen. It's really, really hazed. I've used this kit before a few times on my personal cars. Works really, really well. You get a couple of different discs to use in order to kind of sand this down. We're gonna start with 1,000, then go to 3,000. Just try to keep this moist as we're going through it. And then after that, we're gonna polish it out with plastics. I'm gonna wipe it off in 1 minute. And the final step is to add headlight coating, and that'll kind of protect everything we've done. If you don't use this, it'll haze up right away. So put this on, let it dry for a few hours, and we're good.
All right, so we're here at New Year Tire. Gonna get our wheels and tires mounted. Got all the other stuff inside. Now it's off to the races. Yeah, let's go. Oof. Just gonna throw these on the car.
Koenig Freeforms, 18 9.5 plus 38 offset, wrapped in Falcon FK 510 tires and a 255 35 18. So we went with the square setup to do something kind of similar to how it is stock, but we also wanted to kind of do something that would be a little bit more attuned for track use, as it will occasionally be going to the track.
Also looks better, it's a lot more aggressive, a lot wider wheel. I know the factory wheels are square setup as well, so we kind of just stuck with that, but want quite a bit more aggressive. Good up here. It rolls better with the headlights clean.
Looks faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, how far are we going?
Yeah,
Let's
good.
go.
That's good.
How do we pop the trunk?
Oh, right there.
So as the guys are getting the car on jack stands to get ready to install these pieces, we have them laid out. Here are the APR side rocker extensions in carbon fiber, and also the APR rear bumper extensions in carbon as well. So it looks like the guys are almost ready, so let's go ahead and get these on.
Right now, Christian is going to clamp this in place, and what we're going to do is go underneath and make a few marks for the new holes. The front and rear are going to get a nut and bolt to secure it, and then the rest of it will be self-tapping screws.
So we're just changing these out because the other ones were kind of like the front headlights, a little beat up, so just replacing them with something that's somewhat clean looking and functional.
So now, Christian is gently lowering the BRZ. Very gentle. He's going to push it all the way. And he's pulling out the Daytona.
Keep going, all right, kick their legs under. Okay.
Barely.
Go back.
All right, so we got to remove the shifter so we can lift the car and get the transmission out so we can install the new clutch. So 2 bolts back here, shift knob, and I don't know how the hell to take this boot off. Oh, I guess you don't have to pull any of that out. All right, cool, thanks, man. We got 4 more bolts in here, and I think we might be able to pull the shifter out. We got the last 2 bolts out, got the center console out of our way. There's a little pin down here you gotta pull out. Okay, now this should come out. There's a shifter. Now, we can pull the trans out.
Yeah.
So simple.
Beautiful.
Not even kidding on that one. All right, I'm
Easy
gonna
like-
leave all the hardware with this piece.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not doing that again. think there's fluid. Nope. All right, we're gonna put the drive shaft over here.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
That'll work.
I totally would rock
It actually looks good with the taillights too.
Everything looks
Yeah,
good.
this is on the block.
We got it.
Okay.
Let's move her on up.
Police! Surfing!
What is holding it in?
Uh-huh. I guess that guy who said 30 minutes was right.
That was me. I'm taking credit again. All right, so we're coming to the end of day 2. I think it was pretty productive. What do you think, Sam?
Definitely. The car looks a lot better. We got the wheels and tires on there, got the side skirts on and a few other things, so getting ready for the next step.
And you know, we wanted to get a little bit ahead on the game for tomorrow. Got the transmission out so that way we can install the clutch. So, you know, we'll make Taco Tuesday tonight. Had Monday Night Football last night, so I think everything's good.
Everything's going smooth and can't wait for tomorrow.
That's right, let's get out of here. All right, so it's the morning of day 3 of our Super Street 120-hour Week to Wicked, and Sam's right here next to me. What do we got going on today?
Today we're gonna install the spec clutch, we're gonna install some spark plugs and a new exhaust.
Well, looking at those spark plugs, there's not a whole lot of room to get there. I know there's only 4 of them, but I think that's gonna take a little bit of time. Clutch will probably take a little bit of time, but you know, anyone can do this in their own driveway or garage. Nothing over the top, so that being said, maybe we should get to work.
Let's do it.
All right, so we're removing the spark plugs, and on this boxer engine, they're on the side of the block, and they're right by the frame rail, so they're a little hard to get, and Matt right now is trying to shimmy it out.
I'm trying to get the coil off. We unplugged it, and
There it is. Wham.
there's one.
All right, here it comes.
It's a boy.
It's a girl. Hey! What are you trying to do? Got my handy dandy magnet. There it is. Doesn't look too shabby.
So that one was tough. It's definitely squeezed in there against the frame rail. So I think what we're gonna end up having to do is bring the car down and try from the top. Christian lowering the Subaru BRZ slowly and carefully. He's quite experienced. He's done this many times. You can see he's smiling awkwardly.
Everybody fasten your seatbelts. We are about to land.
Approaching, and we are now. Thank you, everyone. So loosen up this injector computer. That's what I'm assuming it is. I'm just gonna pop this out of the way, move it to the side. And you can see how much room we have in there. Not very much, but enough to get hopefully a socket and a short extension in there. Christian, maybe?
Yeah, baby.
There's number 4.
That was like about what, like 40 minutes?
What time is it? 42 minutes. Less than an hour, Jason. Where's my barbecue?
We always get our food catered in, but today's a special day. We got Todd here from Out of This World, and he's brought the grub.
Need a lot of napkins for this. Barbecue, you need napkins. Yeah, but. Slow-mo, bro.
So they put the plugs in, all that's done, so it's time to take out the old clutch, that way we can install the new one. All right. See if this will pop off. There you go. All right. So one thing I'm not totally used to, a lot of the domestic stuff, being LS or small block Chevy, the pilot bearing is driven into the back of the crank, where these are actually installed on the flywheel itself. I have not seen that.
All right, so it's marked as well.
I marked it.
Perfect.
I don't know if it's necessary, but I did mark this earlier to line up the pressure plate on the flywheel exactly where it was. It might be a balance issue if I don't, may not, but just to be safe, I did that. And again, the bearing is already installed into the flywheel. So all we have to do now is put a little Loctite on the bolts and reinstall it. All right, so there is a flywheel side and a pressure plate side. Be sure you put that in correctly. And then you can use your centering tool, get that into the pilot bearing, and that will center everything where it needs to be. And then again, remember I told you I marked the flywheel. So I did mark this with a mark here and here, just to be sure if there was a balance issue or something. I wanted to make sure it went back exactly how it was delivered to us. All right, so if everything was centered properly with the tool, it should slide right out real easily, which, not a problem. So, time to install the transmission.
Cool.
There we go. See how this thing comes apart. We're gonna put a new throttle bearing in here, which comes with the kit. It's got this little retainer in here that holds it in place, and install the new one. Put the clip back over it. All right, so that's all back in there. That's exactly how it works. Your cylinder up on top is hydraulic, which is connected to your pedal and moves that in and out, which is pushing the pressure plate in and out, engaging and disengaging your clutch. Do it, Christian, put it back in.
Let's go. Go.
Got it? Tell Kenji we'll be done in a couple minutes if he wants to do the exhaust.
Yeah.
This needs to go up like this. This is the wrong drive shaft.
Let's hold the hands. Let's hold the hands, new one.
Oh, that looks so much better.
Can we get the 14 and another 14? And I'll tell you what I want for Christmas, all right? All right. I want a new snap-on ratchet.
Xbox.
I want 2 scrunchies for my hair. And,
Some new conditioner for my hair,
a
please.
Domino's gift card. And, so transmission's back in, stock cat is back in, and now we're going to bring in Kenji. Kenji, what do we have here?
So full titanium 3-inch RSTI exhaust. Super light. We pretty much install it in one hand.
Jeez. What is the weight on this thing? It doesn't...
12 pounds.
Oh.
So the factory is about 40. So
Okay,
it's a
so-
pretty
wow.
good weight saving.
Okay.
Loosen it and slip it on the hook. Yep, that's it.
That's it. Perfect fit, super lightweight. Kenji, thanks again for coming out, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thank
Once
you.
again.
Just have to wipe it down.
We are going to put the interior back together because in order to get the center console out, we had to pull, well, you can see how to pull a lot of stuff out. So right now, with the transmission back in, Jason's going to get the shifter set back up again, and I'm going to pop everything back in. There's a lot of clips we had to pull, so let's put it back together.
Wow, we did something right. Woo! Nice.
Good.
Sounds good.
So this is Brz BRZ Front Lip. It's a hard urethane material, and so basically it just kind of slips right over the bottom of the bumper. It's kind of good because we've got some damage here, used car obviously, so there's a bit of paint damage. There's a pretty big dent on this side as well. So it'll cover all that up and it'll look a lot better once we have this on.
Okay, cool.
That's it.
All right, so we're coming to the end of day 3, a little longer than the last couple of days, but again, you know, everything we did was pretty easy. What do you think?
It's been an exciting day so far, exciting week. You know, today was pretty cool because we got a new exhaust on, we got the clutch in, the spark plugs, and we got a cool new front lip installed.
Yeah. Leaving on that, tomorrow's gonna be a pretty exciting day. We have something cool coming in and getting installed in the car, so please stay tuned for that. And with that, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching and have a good night.
There you go.
All right.
that in the garbage.
All right, so it's day 4 of our Super Street 120-hour week to wicked, and yesterday we got spark plugs in there, we got a clutch in there, and we did that for one reason only.
We did that, a lot of it to prep for the power adder that we wanted. The BRZ is a great car, well balanced, but we definitely wanted more power.
For sure.
So we reached out to our friends at Vortec. They had a great bolt-on kit. They set us up with it. It's a carb exempt kit, produces power in about the 290 range. So we're gonna have fun on the street car and at the track.
Absolutely. So we get out of the camera view, let them get to work, and they can get that power installed.
Sounds good.
So one thing we have to do before we install the blower is we do want to change the shipping plug for the vented plug. The blower does come filled with oil, so before it goes into the car, you change it out for the vented plug so that it can breathe.
You don't have to put them too tight either, because otherwise these things have a tendency to round off, so just a little snug.
Just snug.
You're good.
Good to go.
So a little pro tip, when you go to install the alternator bracket for this guy, there's a little molded boss that's a factory on this casted bracket. If you don't grind this little guy down, you're gonna have a heck of a time installing the bracket. So make sure this gets grinded down first. There. Boom, dog. There it is.
At least I didn't bang my knee this time.
Don't want to do that. So what you want to do is after the bracket's installed, this is the last piece you're going to tighten down, but what you want to do is get this guy tightened first, because if you tighten these two down and this isn't seated flush against this bracket, when you go to tighten this screw, it's going to pull the bracket back and you're potentially going to run into an issue where your belt starts to jump. So always tighten this guy down first, and then once you're done with that, do these two, ready to rock. And whisk that away if you would.
Hey guys! The radiator's here!
Woo! Thank you, sir.
Take care of that baby.
All right, Christian, lower the car and we'll get this.
All right.
We don't want to hold up the Vortec guys too long.
Make sure you get my buff arm. My arm's getting tired.
Did you already drain it? Hey, did you already drain the radiator?
No.
Okay. Draining on my foot.
I'll try not to. Here comes the water.
Got it.
The condenser's bolted to the radiator. All right. Yep. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I know you guys will have this installed by the time I get back.
So CSF set us up with a new radiator. We're gonna keep the protective plastic over the fins just to protect them on the way in, and hopefully we don't bump into anything.
If you do, it's your fault.
That's right, correct. Good?
Yep, let's bring it
Just
back.
pull it forward,
yeah.
We're doing the fan separately
It's just
because get a little bit more space.
Yeah,
that way we can readjust when we get it in here and not have to take off the blower.
Can you shift over your way a little bit?
Yep.
Let me pass the lower radiator. All right.
Perfect. So now we're just gonna hook up the fans, button it up, and we're ready.
Cool.
So that's it. The CSF radiator is in. Vortec guys are ready to finish up. And we finish up with D4.
Yeah, so since we have to drill into the bumper beam on this car to mount the intercooler, we're using the intercooler and the brackets as a template to essentially mark where we need to drill. So instead of having to measure everything, it's pretty much straightforward. So whenever you get to this step and you have to drill to the bumper beam, make sure to use a fresh bit and some cutting oil. Make your life a lot easier.
So we're relocating the factory Maf Sensor onto the discharge tube C.
We're just gonna pull out this incredibly oversized washer fluid reservoir. It's like, I don't know why it's this big, but it's a lot of fluids.
Seriously.
Get it on the floor. blow-off valve going in. It's a little basic blow-off valve. We do have upgrades, but to keep this kit carb legal, this is the guy you have to use. Still vent to atmosphere, so if it's quiet enough, you should be able to hear it out there. You ain't going nowhere.
They're always sticking me with all the hard stuff to do on the car, so I gotta change the battery. Like the spark plugs in this car, they're a little old, so it's a good time to throw a battery in, especially when we go flash the computer. You definitely don't want the car to die during that process. So here we are, new battery in a newer car.
Whoa! Thank you, sir.
I scare you. It would have shocked me, not you.
So the Vortec kit even includes the windshield washer reservoir relocator, which is hard to say, but it basically allows you to keep it this time with a smaller tank. And then if you look up here on top, there's a little relocation kit for it, a little spacer. So it was here originally, just move it over here to get away from the piping. And then Willie's just kind of buttoning it up from the bottom. My dirty hands ruined all this yellow, but we'll clean it up.
Guys, I'm getting ready to reflash this thing. Do me a favor and don't touch anything. Here goes nothing.
All right.
Woo!
Oh, I like that sound.
It's making a whistling sound.
Good team. Oh, you killed it, bro. Good job, guys.
Yeah. What about me? There's a reservoir right there, bro.
Give me some.
You can wash your windows whenever you want.
Sounds good, dude.
What are you doing?
What?
Christian's just drilling a few holes for the hood stay relocator. Reason being, now that we have the whole system in here, you can't put the hood prop down in the stock spot anymore.
That's how you do it, man.
Turn this thing off.
Bang, bang.
Boom.
You guys cheered louder for that than the car started.
I know.
So we're ending day 4. The car's on the ground, the cover's on it. What'd you think?
It was great. We got the supercharger installed, we got it tuned, we actually have the radiator installed, we got the front bumper on, and I think we did the battery too.
Yep. So the only thing that's left is to unveil the car. But
gotta wait till tomorrow.
we'll wait till tomorrow. We're gonna do some first driving shots, get it over the dyno, see how it does on there, and that'd be a wrap.
Yep.
All right, so it's the final day of our Super Street 120-hour week to wicked. The car's down on the ground. What do you think?
I think it looks great. The front lip looks good. The wheels look great. Excited to see how it feels with the supercharger.
That's one thing I'm curious to find out myself. It was very underpowered. I think adding the supercharger is gonna add a lot to the car. One thing left, that first drive, and maybe get it to the dyno.
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
go up for it.
It's kind of hard to kind of feel what the car really has with rain and traffic.
Yeah, with the rain and traffic, you definitely need to get out of the twisties to really enjoy this car.
Yeah.
It's just a great handling and fun car to throw in the turns.
It'd be cool to bring out to like an autocross day.
Yeah, and it has the power. It has the power once you get really in those tight corners.
Suspension's not too overly aggressive that you're, you know, bouncing all around. It feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, the ride's nice. Got more power. Curious to see what a dyno's at. Overall, though, the clutch feel for an aluminum, I put some aluminum flywheels in, you know, some like V8 cars, and dude, they're really hard to drive, like Corvettes and stuff. So this is actually pretty manageable. Once you get the feel of it, you can modulate it quite well.
It's not too bad. Yeah, it just takes like A little practice, 5 minutes and you're good.
Yeah, and it's half the weight. Because I weighed the other one was 20 pounds, this one's 10.
Very cool.
The exhaust isn't like overly bearing where you're like droned out. It sounds good, smooth.
It's definitely louder. It definitely feels like a more tuned car, but
yeah,
you have to really like the sound.
Yeah. Yep. As I say it, I stall it.
Almost.
Well, we're here. I guess we'll see what it does.
This place looks like it's shut down. What is this place?
Well, unfortunately, that first dyno shop didn't pan out for us, so Matt gave a call to one of his buddies, and here we are.
Yeah, I reached out to Kenji here at Grady Performance Products in Irvine, California, and they got a dyno here. They're always giving us a hand. They even provided the exhaust for this build, so let's get on the dyno.
Yeah, that's all that's left. Strap it down, get some numbers, and hopefully hit that 200 mark.
Let's go.
What do you think? Think it did all right?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's see. Okay. Well, yeah, so 157 baseline compared to the 226.
So a little over 60 more horsepower.
Yeah, well, pretty much. Like
and it looks like it really starts
70.
coming up around the 5200 where it really starts pushing away.
Mm-hmm. But you can pretty much see from this is 3,000 RPM, so about 35 all the way across. Gaining that power because it's supercharger, getting all that already pretty good there. This is the torque, got about 50.
Yeah, nice. Well, that's a wrap. A little over 60 horsepower.
A pretty good increase. I wasn't expecting that much, especially because no headers, no nothing really. It's just the kit and the tune. That's it. Simple,
that was it.
Off-the-shelf tune.
Pretty impressive. What's next?
So now it goes back to its owner, and that's it. We're on to the next one.
Awesome. Well, until next season.
All right.